Hello. So, I wasn't even sure if I was gonna record today because, as you might be able to hear, my voice is a bit shit. I'm a bit sick right now, as you can see. It's not looking good, bruv. But I still wanted to record a video and post it to the channel because I decided that I was gonna post every single day for a year, at least to start with, and we're already like 4 or 5 months into the process, posting every single day. So I'm just gonna keep doing that and pushing forward. So today I don't necessarily have the same amount of energy as I usually do, but I still wanted to get more videos out. So I decided to sit down today and just talk about how your priorities can change whenever you feel sick, and that I have to accept personally, and this might be the same thing for you, that your output might not be 100% whenever you're sick. If you're focusing on building a business, if you're focusing on being a freelancer, building up your skills, if you own a business, if you're any kind of different type of individual compared to I guess if you don't work in a traditional job, I mean, and you want to build something more meaningful, if you have a side hustle or something like that, I reckon you should focus on doing the most important thing you can, which is either low energy work, which is what I do. Basically, instead of doing stuff that takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of time, what I do is I focus on specific key tasks that are going to help me the most. Like, for instance, I've got a spreadsheet here of businesses to contact. And so what I do is I just sit down and I use ChatGPT to help me out in order to speed up the process. And I just go through everything and I just like send, okay, email, message, so and so. And it might take me more time to send out more messages than I usually do because I'm not like super fast in the head today. But what you need to understand is that doing something even when you don't feel like doing it is still important. It's kind of like there was a guy at some point who said the guy who goes to the gym, regardless of how he feels, will always outperform the guy who goes to the gym only whenever he feels like going to the gym. And so this is exactly the same, right? If you are a uh, guy, if you're a guy like me, right now, and you're focusing a lot on just like sending messages, talking to people, growing your business, like I mentioned, side hustle, any of that kind of stuff. In that case, you're gonna be sick sometimes, and you have to make a decision. Okay, what am I going to do? Am I just gonna sit back and just lay in bed all day, or am I just gonna do at least a little bit of work and still push forward? And the question remains with you at the end of the day, because if you have enough determination and strength of mind, strength of will, you can always get more things done than you actually think. I sit here in front of my computer, and yes, of course, I don't necessarily go outside as much as I should and as I want to, because I want to go outside. I want to socialize with people. It's a skill that I've been developing over the past couple months that I really started to enjoy, actually. Having discussions with people, interacting with people, flirting with people. I really do enjoy it now. So I really feel super shit whenever I feel sick because I feel guilty the fact that I'm not going to be able to do that. So you basically what I was thinking is just sitting down and just thinking, what can I do? What can I do right now? Like, okay, I can't really record business content. It's kind of fucked. I don't have the energy and people don't really care. So, yeah. So instead I was just like, you know what? It doesn't really matter. Like my channel on YouTube isn't really monetized, so it doesn't really matter. I still want to post though. So like, I understand people who say listening to your body is important, but at the same time, you still, when you're in this kind of headspace, you still want to maintain momentum. You don't want to just stop and fucking do nothing and just forget about it. Because if you start doing that, it's going to reinforce the habit in your mind that, it's fine if I take a day off. And that's not a very productive way of thinking. So, what I wanted to talk about most importantly today is the difference between, I guess, self-discipline and self-destruction. Because of course, if I really wanted to be disciplined and stick to my routine, I could. But then I might just be destroying my health even more, and I might be sick for a longer period of time. For example, I usually go to the coffee shop in the morning in order to work outside on my laptop. And in that case, like today I wasn't able to do that because I decided, you know what, I'm gonna stay home, I'm gonna put the heating on, I'm going to sleep more, I'm going to hydrate more, I'm going to make sure that my physical health and my physiological health are like as much as possible focused on recovery, so that way I can actually get back to work faster, get back to work stronger, and just not really waste time. Because like the problem is, like, when you're sick, it does feel like a waste of time. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like when you're sick, it feels like when people say like, oh sorry, I'm sick, people say sorry when they're sick because it's a skill issue. It's a skill issue if you got sick, because at the end of the day, you decided to do something that might have reduced your immune system. You did something that wasn't necessarily a good idea or a good decision. Or maybe you decided to go outside in public where there was this other guy who also had sickness, virus, flu, whatever the fuck. And he infected you, and then you go back home and now you feel like shit, which is basically what happened to me. So technically, if I was in the right environment, this wouldn't have happened, if you know what I'm getting at. But at the same time, you need to think for yourself, what am I ready to sacrifice in order to push myself a little bit further? And in this case, I sacrificed going to the coffee shop, for instance, today, because I wanted to focus on recovery. So another thing that I did not do today, which I might do a little bit later, but I'm gonna do it at home. I'm gonna do super, super light. Because basically, I'm sick right now. Like everything feels like shit. I'm not gonna lie. So the point is, when you feel like shit, are you going to stop doing everything, or are you just gonna push a little bit, just a little bit, just to keep momentum going? Just even if you don't do 100%, are you gonna do at least 50%, 75%? You can still do something. You can still listen to people give you advice. You can still sit down and focus on your recovery. You can still do your best, even when you're sick. And so that's what I've been focusing on today. Now, of course, there are things like, I would have loved being able to go to the gym, right? But instead, I'm gonna have to do something else here. Maybe like walk around, do some push-ups if I can, which I might do like shitty push-ups, but I still want to do them. You know what I mean? It's like I've put myself through this challenge where I've been doing push-ups every single day for the past year, and I'm almost done. So I don't really want to give that up, if you know what I mean. It's like, I'm going to push through it. Even if I'm sick, I'm going to still get it done. Even if I do half a push-up, I'm still going to do a push-up. Like, I don't care. Like, I've decided. Like, what's in here is more important than my state. Like, if I'm sick right now. Like, I can see my reflection in the camera. My eyes are purple. Like, that's not good, bro. I slept like fucking dog shit last night, but I still want to do something, you know? I still want to keep pushing. And this made me realize today that when you're like in perfectly good health, which is usually what I am, because over the past year, I've not been sick a single time, I don't think. And I'm sick very, very rarely. Now, it is getting winter here in New Zealand, which is where I am located. And one thing is that usually around this period of the year, people start getting a cold, a flu, whatever the fuck, okay? So this is what I got. Luck of the draw. Still gonna do something. So it just made me realize that when you're healthy, you find out what you're actually capable of doing. Like, you get to push yourself just a little bit more every day, just and if not more, and then if not a little bit, you get to push yourself a lot more, and then you push past your limits, and you actually discover what you're actually capable of. Like, for instance, when you go to the gym and you just push super, super, super hard, and you get past that progressive overload, right? Like, whenever you do a certain amount of weight, like you bench 100 kilos, for instance, or like 200 pounds, and next time you bench 210 or like 105 kilos, whatever. Basically, the idea is when you're healthy, you can do so many more things than when you're sick. So being healthy is actually a massive luxury that everybody has for the most part. And when you're sick, you find out what your minimum standard actually is. Like, what are you willing to go through? What are you willing to not do? What are you willing to have as a non-negotiable? No matter what, even if I'm sick, I'm still going to do this. And you figure it out. You really understand like who you actually are. Because at the end of the day, everybody does something. Everybody pushes to a certain degree. Everybody is, or rather thinks, they're doing 100% all the time, right? When you're sick, what happens? When you're sick, you understand that, am I actually 100%? Or am I doing more? Or am I doing less? Am I actually pushing as hard as I can? Or am I just coasting? So, you have to think for yourself. Are you still going to choose to do something? Or are you just gonna sit back, relax, and not really do anything? Because at the end of the day, it's not because, like, I'm not trying to prove, like, how tough I am just by recording a video, you know? Like, that's not the point. Like, I don't give a shit. The point is, I want to still, like, be consistent. Because it's important. It's valuable. And it's not about having perfect day after perfect day after perfect day after perfect day. It's by just doing day after day after day. Maybe one day is super fucking shit. Maybe one day is perfect. Maybe one day is like, it's okay. Maybe the next day is like, it's a bit shit, but it could be better. And it's also just refusing to let like one bad day fuck up your entire momentum. Like I'm not gonna just sit back and just like victimize myself and just feel like, oh, you know what, today I'm sick, I'm just gonna sleep all day, I'm just gonna do nothing, I'm just gonna be like, you know, I'm just gonna be lazy today. It's like, no, what the fuck, bro? I might be less productive today, but I'm not gonna be lazy. Because today is a perfect lesson about showing up. Even when you're on your worst day, you still need to do your best as much as possible. And by simply keeping that in mind, you will understand that you can actually be a great person. There was another guy who said something like that. He was talking about if you're always stronger than your opponent on his best day when it's your worst day, then you will always succeed. And basically what that means is that if I'm as good as the other guy on my worst day, but he's on his best day, then in that case, he can never beat me and I will always win. Which is, I guess it's all a mindset trick, right? You need to think for yourself and choose for yourself. These moments, I'm gonna be honest, these moments actually prove who you are as a person. Like it actually shows, what are you willing to go with? What are you willing to force yourself to do? What are you willing to go through with? What are you willing to accept? What are you willing to tolerate? That's like, yeah, it's a test. It's a test to your mental resolve. And how I've been approaching this test today. You know what? Something fucking annoying that happened earlier that I wish did not happen was some fucking piece of shit pressed on the fucking fire alarm. Now I live up on the 25th floor, okay? So that means I needed to fucking walk down 25 flights of stairs with this fucking condition. Now, that made me, as you might be able to tell, this made me extremely happy because not only did my head hurt, but also I had this fire alarm just blaring in my head. It's just like constantly. And then also I had to fucking walk down 25 flights of stairs. So I really felt tested today, you know? And here I am, 1 hour later, 2 hours later, just sitting here recording a video to post on my channel because it's something that I want to do. Even if I feel like shit, I'm still gonna try and do my best because that's all we can do, you know? So if you ever get sick, or if you ever feel like shit right now, or if you ever feel like the world is against you, then just think for yourself, what would I do on my best day? And why should that be any different today? And don't use your current circumstances to be a victim and to be justifying the fact that you want to be lazy. Don't do that. You know you can do more. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate all the support you guys have given me so far. I think we are at almost, if I check here, I think we're like almost at 200 subs, which is pretty cool. We're getting more views on the videos, which is something I'm really happy about. Because that means the fucking, the titles and the thumbnails are actually working a little bit better. I've been crafting some different ones that I've been testing a little different things than usual, but I'm pretty happy where we're going right now. I might change the fucking banner, I might change the profile picture, I might change the fucking whatever, okay? But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I want to do this. And so I wanted to just sit down and say, thank you, everybody. And with that said, it's a beautiful day. So you go out there and you work your ass off and you just do your best. Because that's what I'm doing today. And I will see you in the next video tomorrow. See ya.